Dear Tacitus, I write to you in the shadow of my beloved uncle, and a calamity that has shaken Pompeii to its core. The ground trembled with a ferocity I have never known, splitting the earth and casting down proud structures that once stood as monuments to our prosperity. Temples lie in ruin, their sacred altars buried beneath the rubble, and the cries of the wounded echo through the streets. Even now, the air is thick with dust, and the city labors to recover from this cruel blow. Many have fled, fearing that the gods have turned their gaze against us, while others remain, determined to rebuild what has been lost. Yet, as I look upon the broken walls and shattered lives, I cannot help but wonder if this is but a prelude to something greater. I must tell you of my uncle's extraordinary resolve during the recent earthquake that has shaken Pompeii to its foundations. When the tremors reached our town, he, ever the man of action and curiosity, could not sit idly by. Upon hearing of the devastation, he decided at once to sail to Pompeii, determined to understand what had transpired and to offer aid to those in need. I write to you with a tale so extraordinary that it defies belief, recounted by the sole survivor of my uncle's ill-fated voyage to Pompeii. As their small boat braved the restless waters, they encountered a terror that seemed summoned from the depths of myth itself. From the churning sea emerged a monstrous creature, dragon-like in form, its immense body glistening with scales that shimmered with an eerie, otherworldly light. The radiance danced across its back like flames, casting an unnatural glow upon the night. Its presence stirred the ocean into chaos, waves rising meters high and threatening to engulf their fragile vessel. The survivor spoke of the beast with a trembling voice, describing its piercing eyes that seemed to burn with ancient knowledge and fury. The crew, overcome with fear, fought desperately to keep the boat afloat, but the sea, now a maelstrom, showed no mercy. My uncle, ever fearless, is said to have stood firm, facing the creature with the same resolve that drove him to aid Pompeii. Alas, the boat was lost to the depths, and with it, some brave companions. The survivor and my uncle, carried back to shore of Pompeii by some miracle, insists that this was no mere storm, but a divine or cursed encounter, a warning perhaps, or the wrath of Neptune himself. I can scarcely comprehend such a vision, yet the terror in their eyes leaves me questioning the boundaries of what we know to be true. The tale grows darker still, for the survivor revealed that their ordeal did not end at sea. As their battered boat reached the shores of Pompeii, relief turned swiftly to dread. Emerging from the waves, the monstrous creature followed them, its immense form rising from the water and stepping onto the land with a force that shook the earth anew. The survivor described the beast in terrifying detail. Its dragon-like body loomed over the shore, with shimmering lights along its back, casting an eerie glow upon the ruins of the city. Its movements were deliberate, as though it sought something, or someone, amidst the chaos. Its presence seemed to silence even the cries of the injured and the grieving, as though the very air grew heavy with fear. Panic spread among those who had survived the earthquake. Many fled deeper into the city, hoping to escape the creature's gaze, while others stood frozen, unable to comprehend the horror before them. The survivor spoke of my uncle's bravery as he rallied the people to seek shelter and attempted to understand the beast's intentions. Yet even his courage could not halt the growing sense that this was no ordinary creature, but an omen perhaps, or a punishment sent by the gods themselves. Without warning, fire erupted from the beast itself, a searing inferno that lit up the night sky and turned the waves to steam. The flames did not stop there. They seemed to awaken something deep within the earth, as if the creature's fury had summoned the wrath of the gods. Mount Vesuvius, silent since the earthquake, roared to life with a deafening explosion. Smoke and ash poured into the heavens, blotting out the sun, while rivers of molten fire began to flow down its slopes, consuming everything in their path. The city was thrown into chaos. Buildings already weakened by the earthquake crumbled under the weight of falling ash, and the air grew thick with smoke, choking those who tried to flee. My uncle, ever the man of courage, is said to have led a group of survivors toward the sea, hoping to escape the inferno. Yet the beast, now wreathed in its own flames, seemed to revel in the destruction, its glowing eyes fixed on the city, as though it were the architect of this apocalyptic scene. The survivor's voice trembled as they spoke of the screams, the heat, and the utter helplessness of that moment. Pompeii, once a thriving city, was now a hellscape of fire and ash, its people scattered or consumed by the eruption. What became of my uncle and those he sought to save, I do not know. The survivors' escape seems nothing short of a miracle, but their eyes betray the horrors they witnessed. I cannot help but wonder what power could command such devastation, and why it chose Pompeii as its target. Is this the vengeance of the gods, or the emergence of something beyond our understanding? Whatever the answer, the memory of that day will haunt me for the rest of my life. Dear Tacitus, I write with a heavy heart, but the tale grows darker still. The survivor recounted the monster's rampage through the city of Pompeii, a vision of destruction so complete that it seems almost beyond mortal comprehension. Fire spewed from its gaping maw, consuming all in its path, homes, temples, and the very streets that once bustled with life. The flames roared like an unending storm, turning the city into a blazing inferno. Amidst the chaos, my uncle, that steadfast man of courage and resolve, stood firm in his efforts to help those around him. He guided the terrified citizens, urging them to flee the beast's wrath. Yet even his strength could not withstand the relentless destruction. As the creature's fire consumed the city, the very buildings my uncle sought to shelter others within crumbled around him. Rocks and burning debris fell like rain, burying him alive beneath the fiery ruins. The survivor's voice broke as they described the moment. My uncle's bravery did not waver, even in the face of such overwhelming odds. His last act, they say, was to shield a young child from the falling rubble, a testament to his selflessness and humanity. Now Pompeii is no more. The once thriving city lies in smoldering ruin, its people either lost to the flames or scattered to the winds. The monster, its purpose fulfilled or its rage spent, vanished as mysteriously as it appeared, leaving only destruction in its wake. I can scarcely comprehend the enormity of this tragedy, nor can I find solace in the knowledge that my uncle met his end with honor. I am left with questions that may never be answered. What was this beast, and why did it bring such wrath upon Pompeii? Was it a punishment from the gods, or some other force beyond our understanding? All I know is that the memory of my uncle's courage will live on, even as the city he sought to save lies buried in ash and fire.